Hey everybody! I have literally like 2 short evenings to make this video, so yeah, gonna be another one of those minimal editing ones, I'm sorry, but today we have a pretty interesting topic. It's something that I have been alluding to in my Discord server a little bit, and if you are there you might remember something about this. So basically, I have sort of a take that I think fixes quite a few inconsistencies with One Punch Man power scaling, because just as an example, we have, for example, Carnage Kabuto, who is physically stated to be above somebody like Beefcake in base form, not even Carnage mode, and Metal Bat, base Metal Bat, without any sort of like pumping up, is able to fight Carnage Kabuto for 3 minutes in base form, and is able to hold his own for 3 minutes before going down. So yeah, Metal Bat, the guy who struggled with Senior Centipede, which is a demon, can apparently fight a dragon level threat in base form. So it's just kind of... There are quite a few inconsistencies like this, which I will address as we go through this video. So the main idea that I have to sort of fix these issues is that there might actually be 2 disaster level dragons based on whose perspective you're looking at. So one would be from the Hero Association and what they would consider to be threat level dragon, and then another is from Goro's perspective, or the Monster Association's perspective, and what they consider to be a dragon. So for example, if the Monster Association has a higher baseline for what a dragon should be, then their demon levels might be stronger than some of the dragon levels that the Hero Association has, because the Hero Association's bar for what a dragon is supposed to be would be lower. And I know this is kind of a weird idea, it's kind of wacky, so treat this as more of a thought experiment. I'm not claiming this as like facts or anything, but I do think it's interesting to talk about, and I do think it fixes some inconsistencies. So now let's get into why I think this might be the case. And also don't worry, the rest of this video is scripted, so you don't have to worry about me stuttering any longer. So let's take some Season 1 Dragon level monsters for example. We have Melzerguard, who is consistently getting outsped and blown to bits by Puri Puri, base Metal Bat, and all the other heroes. Metal Bat in particular is able to batter him and parry his blows. Metal Bat in base scales above this guy in stats. Puri Puri can also catch his blows and also avoid him, and this is pretty much the same Puri, maybe a little bit stronger than the one that fought Deep Seeking, a demon. We also have Metal Bat in base, specifically noted that he did not have the fighting spirit amps in the following events, fighting Carnage Kabuto in base in the audiobook Geno's Training. And Metal Bat actually lasts 3 minutes in a fight against this dragon level monster. We also have a databook statement saying that base Carnage Kabuto is physically the strongest monster from Season 1 by far at the time he appears, placing him above the likes of Beefcake and Vaccine Man, at least in terms of a physical level, you know, their speed, durability, and strength. And both of those guys are also dragon level monsters. In Season 2 then, we have Metal Bat, still in base, fighting Senior Centipede, a threat level demon monster by Monster Association standards, and being fairly evenly matched. Then he gets so pumped up that he one-shots Senior Centipede, then he fights Elder Centipede for a bit, takes more damage, gets even more pumped up, and then Human Goro can fight this super pumped up Metal Bat and dominate him for the most part until the very end of the fight. So in stats, Human Goro can fight a Metal Bat who is well over a one-shot tier higher than his base state, which can fight dragons and keep pace with them, at least for a little bit. Then we have that same Goro getting stronger through various fights and near-death boosts, and when Goro should be considerably more powerful than before, Royal Ripper and Bug God, 2 demon level monsters, can keep up with him pretty well. The same goes for Showerhead, Supermouse, and the horror monster whose name I don't remember, who fight Goro later. Goro pretty much washes them, but they still don't get instantly one-shot. Goro brings up the idea of himself being threat level dragon to the 3 demons, who just laugh it off because from their perspective, only Cadre level monsters can be dragons, and the Cadres are stated to be above this Goro. So this Goro, who scales to and above Monster Association dragons like Melzerguard, Vaccine Man, and Beefcake, and base Carnage Kabuto, with the only possible exception maybe being Vaccine Man for this one kind of vague statement, kind of not vague, of him being potentially stronger than like Elder Centipede 2 years ago, but that's a whole other topic. But in any case, this Goro, who is stronger than these dragons, is stated to be below the cadres, who are all dragons by Monster Association standards. He's too weak to be dragon by Monster Association standards, but he is stronger than some dragons by Hero Association standards. On top of this, Sitch actually considers Goro dragon level by this point in the series. A Hero Association guy says Goro is dragon, Monster Association guys say Goro is not dragon. On top of this, Goro himself sees Rover and says, so this is threat level dragon, and then gets bodied. But this Goro scales far above the likes of multiple dragons from Season 1 already. So this Goro, who is dragon level by Hero Association standards, is in awe at and gets washed by a dragon from the Monster Association. Granted, Rover is a high tier dragon by any standards, but it still does go to show that Goro is not cadre tier yet. Not dragon level in the eyes of Goro. There's actually a reasonable explanation for this difference too. For one, Goro can just make her own decisions independent of the Hero Association on what level of power she considers to be dragon level and whatnot. But more so than that, the requirement for being S-class is being able to take down a demon level threat all on your own. That is the bare minimum. And then a dragon is somebody who is supposed to take several S-class heroes to defeat. However, all the current S-class are far above that minimum, as Puri can easily demolish deep-seeking level monsters at the start of the Monster Association raid, Pigod can somewhat fight Gums, who is cadre level, and Tank Top Master can fight Goro, who we already went over, as well as hold back Gums' Bite Force twice, and so on. So if all the current S-class heroes are one-shot tiers above the bare minimum requirement for being S-class, then Goro would have to adjust accordingly. The average dragon is supposed to be stronger than the average S-class hero. So Goro would scout out only the strongest monsters who she believes can surpass the S-class heroes to be dragons. She wouldn't bother labeling anyone who doesn't scale above the average S-class hero in her eyes as a dragon. And as we established, even low-ranking S-class heroes like Metalbat are generally above or scale 2 dragons from Season 1, so Goro is looking for guys who are stronger than guys who can keep up with and surpass the dragons of the Hero Association. On top of this, we have statements of various A-class heroes being S-class level, or near that level. Atomic's Disciple, Spring Mustachio, the 3 heroes Garo beat up during the criminal meeting, and a couple others. Those guys are what the baseline minimum for an S-class hero would be. They can tango with demons in the Hero Association's eyes. Yet it takes all 3 of Atomic's disciples to take down Devil Longhair, a demon-level monster by Monster Association standards. Ian also struggles to cut Rhino Wrestler's horn, who is also a demon in the Monster Association. And as I said earlier, Garo absolutely no-diffs 3 heroes who are supposed to be near S-class level, or in other words, nearly capable of soloing demons. And Garo just makes jokes out of them with a smile on his face while not trying at all. Some extra notes: Senior Centipede considers Metalbat being able to take on 2 demons from the Monster Association as an impressive feat for an S-class hero, despite that same Metalbat scaling to dragons by Hero Association standard. Also, Goro does offer Garo a cadre position within the association, implying she may see him as dragon level, but that's actually probably just her trying to make the deal sound nicer so she can win Garo over easier. Goro seems to think Royal Ripper and Bug God, 2 demons, can beat Garo later, and statements from other monsters contradict this idea as well, as we already covered before. So Goro at this point just wasn't on the level of cadres yet. Actually, maybe he could have been on Gums' level since Tank Top Master could resist his Bite Force for a bit, but even so, the arguments I made still stand. The weakest dragon of the Monster Association, as well as several demons from the Monster Association, blatantly outscale several dragons from the Hero Association's perspective. So yeah, that's why I believe there might be 2 different views on what a threat level dragon monster should be. An extra note: Gums is actually such a fraud. If Tank Top Master scales to him to some degree and Human Garo scales to Tank Top Master, that means Royal Ripper, Bug God, and even Showerhead should scale above him in terms of the feats they've shown, because Garo straight up takes punches from Genos, who he says is Tank Top Master level, and then a much stronger Garo struggles to even damage Bug God and fights Royal Ripper pretty evenly. So it's just like, Gums is really just like, eh. Who knows, maybe Gums was the first dragon Goro ever appointed, and then later she realized she actually needed much stronger monsters to be cadres, but just, I don't know, never bothered to correct the mistake on Gums, I guess. But yeah, in any case, that's the video. Let me know what you think. I know the scaling is wacky, but I'm just literally using like feats and statements we have from official sources to get these claims, so it is bizarre, I will admit, but I think it does fix some inconsistencies if there are like two different threat level dragons in the series. And with nothing else to say, I wish you a good rest of your day. Goodbye.